Adrian.
Hey, Cody.
I'm gonna roll my dice now, okay? Watch
Okay.
I also need a beer, too, as well.
You finished that already?
Oh, wow.
God. I'm barely into mine.
Well, that's the difference between you and me. Some of us decide to be
Some of
men
us-
with their lives.
No.
You drink a food.
That's me, baby. Man, down to the bottom of it.
You
Right
are
here.
a caveman, baby.
That's So Clever is a roll and write board game for 1 to 4 players designed by Wolfgang Warsch and published originally under the title of Ganz Schon Clever by Stronghold Games in 2018. Depending on the number of players, the game is played over 4 to 6 rounds and will take 30 to 60 minutes. Gameplay is simple. The active player takes 6 colored dice and rolls them all together, choosing 1 die to keep before re-rolling 2 more times. Whichever die is chosen, all dice with a lower value are placed on the silver platter, and the chosen die's value is used on your score sheet. Once all re-rolls are completed, all remaining unchosen dice not already on the silver platter are moved there, and the passive players can choose 1 die each to use towards their own score sheet. Then the player left of the active player becomes the new active player, and play repeats until everyone has been the active player and the round ends. So which die should you choose? The answer depends on the strategy, or perhaps the color, you decide to pursue. Each color die essentially plays its own minigame on a different part of your score sheet. Yellow works basically like a game of bingo, where you need to fill in numbers to make lines of 4. The blue area is about adding the values of the blue and white dice together to add up to a number in sequence from 2 to 12. Green is simply about choosing a value that is greater than or equal to the number listed in the next open spot. Orange is about taking any value you want, but certain open spots grant multipliers. And purple is about choosing a value that is larger than the one you chose last time, though once you record a 6, you can choose any number next. The white die is wild and can be used toward any of the color areas. Some areas like orange just grant you the total number of values added up at the end of the game toward your point total, whereas areas like green grant a certain number of points based on how much of the area you completed. Filling out enough of any area will often lead to a bonus, such as the top line of yellow granting you a free spot in your blue area, or an extra reroll, or an extra +1. A reroll permits the active player to reroll the dice if they do not like the roll they just got, whereas a +1 allows the user, whether active or passive, to choose an extra die they would like to count toward their sheet. Any earned foxes are used at the end of the game and award you the point total from your color area with the fewest points multiplied by the number of fox spots marked on your sheet. Most points wins the game.
So if you pick a 6, then you're just done.
You'd have to put everything lower than a 6 back on there. So if I did 6 right now, I'd put back 4 of the other dice, so that wouldn't be good, which is why I'm not going to pick a 6
so
right
if I pick a 6 and I immediately pick another 6, then I'm just done.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If everything else is lower than a 6, if everything was lower than 6, then yes.
Adrian has explained all these things to you so perfectly.
Multiple
times. Are you not paying attention?
I just wish you gave a goddamn Cody. That's all.
Pay attention, Cody.
That's all I wish, that you gave a goddamn.
Just
the blue, you have to add the blue plus the white together.
So you have to use 2 dice.
Yeah, but you don't have to get both of them. It's like if you pick, I'm gonna use the white towards the blue. Okay, there's a 4 over there in the white, right? Well, my blue is over here. It's a 2. So you add the 2 plus the 4, and you can mark a 6 off in your blue.
Do what? I don't.
For a green, you just X out each box as you go.
But you have to go sequentially. You can't.
I mean, whatever the box says to do. Like one of them's.
You have to go sequentially. Gotcha.
Yeah, we have to go left to right. Yeah.
I'm half dead and I get this game. What does that say about you, Cody?
Can't do purple, right?
You could do purple.
Ow. 1 is less than 3?
Yes. Because you already have a 1, 3 is higher than 1, so you can put 3 down for your next box. No, the 1, it's pointing to the left, so that means 1 has to be less than the next number. 3 is higher than 1, meaning 1 is less than 3. So you can put a 3.
That's not how math works.
Dear.
Hey, Ricky!
Hey, Rich. Rex he's distraught, buddy.
Still his turn.
Rex just was in another world for a minute there, Cody. Okay, so we are reviewing. That's pretty clever. Also known as Ganz Schon Clever.
It's up to interpretation, I guess.
Okay. Haven't done one of these in a while.
I just won.
Yep.
via
rare.
methods of cheating.
Yeah, half asleep and not completely aware of what was going on, but still somehow won.
Then you're done. Rick, I'm just gonna say what's mulligan because you're tired and I don't think you're thinking straight. Put the blue here, and then you could still keep the 6, and then that would mean you would only have to put the purple over there.
Yeah, Rick is a little sleepy. Cody's getting a little buzzed.
Mm-hmm.
Me.
And then there's me holding them together as best as I can.
Yeah.
How did I lose so bad? In fact, I know I missed out. Like I know
There were a couple.
I know there's a few, like, I could have, like, filled out a couple more spots, and then I also missed out on the 16 points from having the 5 in yellow, but I still would have been, like, 20 points off.
It's because from you had kind of medium on everything, where you didn't... Like, what Rick did is he focused really hard on, like, a couple categories, which, when you get to the end of those, they become, like, disproportionately rewarding the closer to the end you get. On that note, well, we'll get to that in the, like, scoring stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys, I mean, general impressions of the game, premise? Why don't you start, Ricky?
I think it's pretty good. that's a joke because I always say everything's pretty good.
You liked it quite a bit?
Yeah, I liked it quite a bit. The mechanics are pretty simple. You just roll, was it 5 die?
Six die.
6 die, different colors.
It's this is a roll and write type game, like Yahtzee is essentially that kind of game. But obviously this is a little more clever than that. In fact, pretty clever. It's essentially 5 little mini games based on the color of the die. And each color is scored separately. So it's an interesting kind of choice mechanic of like which things you want to pursue, and obviously you can re-roll. There's all these ways you can kind of try to increase your odds of getting something that you can be useful somewhere on your sheet, but you only get to use about half the die, and the other half get sacrificed to the other players who are not in the active phase. There's no like gimmick. There's no premise. This isn't like there isn't some sort of like, oh, we're police chasing robbers or some flavor given to it. No
theme to this game whatsoever, except colored blocks that you fill in based on what die you roll.
But that makes it kind of, it's simple. It's complicated in the sense that you have to make choices, and those are often very difficult choices to make as to which die you should pursue. Should you re-roll them all, yada yada. And then also kind of vaguely keeping track of the other people, but I don't know about you guys. I wasn't really paying attention to what you guys were doing.
Yeah, like I know there's ways that you can screw your teammates over.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I mean, you can,
like taking the white, is like a good way to.
Yeah, you just use a die that they have their eye on, and you using that instead of so that they can't use it.
Yeah, but for the most part, Cody's right that that's not a major component of the game. You're not probably actively trying to do that. Okay, Cody, you haven't said much. What are your thoughts on the game?
So, I do appreciate that aspect of it. I know that adds a different element to most of the games that we seem to play. That there's an element of you got to keep track of everyone and like you got to watch what they're trying to like. What's the like trains one? It's like one of the
Ticket to Ride.
Biggest games, yeah, Ticket to Ride, where it's like, he's trying to get there. I should really,
Yes, try to screw him over, interrupt him.
But I appreciate that it doesn't do that. Like personally, like I don't want all the games like that, but I appreciate it because like sometimes it becomes too much to try to, depending on who you are, maybe you want like you play board games like every night, you play 3 of them, and you want the complication. Sometimes you play once a month. We don't even do that.
Yeah.
So, like, sometimes you don't want to, like, this is what I'm supposed to do, and then I need to look at this, and I need to be looking at that guy and this guy, and then planning 7 steps ahead, and, like...
Yeah.
Like, those are cool. They should exist, but, like... it's a little too much.
Cody, would you go? You still have 2 more rolls, Cody.
My God. Why hast thou forsaken me?
Thou forsaken me. Okay. Roll the other 5. And let's repeat this arduous process. You are putting Rick through hell right now, Cody.
Just time. Life's
I'll
most
just go ahead
precious
and
resource.
take a 2 and orange.
Roll.
Am I allowed to take 1 and then re-roll it?
No, you'd have to re-roll now.
Wait.
Wait, what'd you take?
If I can, re-roll.
Oh, you're just re-rolling? Okay. Re-rolling again? Let's just re-roll for the heck of it, boys. Yeah, there you go. Still got another one.
Gonna end up with nothing. Of course I can get 5 in a 5 rolls.
So
I lost because of that.
here's your options. I can't use any of them.
The moment when you have to start looking at the other people's things is like kind of where I just can't really do it.
And this is already, there's a fair amount to keep track of.
You know, like the more you play it and the deeper you go into it, like the better that can be. You know, the more complexity you can get into. That's cool. But I kind of just appreciate that this doesn't do that. That's cool. I like the simplicity of like rolling dice and the different colors, and you just have a score sheet. You know what's going on. My parents play it's basically like Yahtzee-ish.
Farkle or whatever.
Farkle.
Yeah.
It's not Farkle, you know, like, but it benefits from playing it twice. Like, you play it once and you're like, oh, I f***ed all of it up. If you play it again, then you kind of know a little more, which is cool. That's good. I know you said, like, you know, it has no theme and but I kind of like some of those games a little bit, like Sagrada.
Yeah.
It has a visual element to it that's
Right.
satisfying to me. I don't mind this either. So I think it's like very similar to games like Sagrada or that bridge building game. What's that bridge one?
Bridges to Nowhere.
Yeah, like they're all kind of similar, right? Like you're trying, well, maybe not that one, but like you're trying to build like rows and ooh, if I can get 3 yellows, I can do this. Oh, but if I make a column, and they're all kind of the same sort of game-ish.
They share some elements of like
they're
combos.
all-
Is like kind of
Purple's out. So I have to use blue. Okay. So I get a 2.
So how many more with the low die?
So which gives me a 5 and an orange. Which gives me a reroll.
I'm just using a 2 and blue gives me a 5 and orange.
Because I completed a row in blue by doing that. And that row gave me a 5 and an orange. And a 5 and orange gave me a reroll.
Kind of ish, and this one's good. I don't know, like I appreciate those types of games because they're while they're not like a deck builder or has like a big deep thing that's gonna take you 4 hours and like it's really deep and cool. It's not that. It's just like a pick up and play. So there's not a ton of complexity in that way, but I appreciate those types of games. This maybe is just me, but I wish it had like some deeper complexity a little bit. Because, like, there is complexity, you do get to choose your dice, but if you played it a couple times, you actually kind of know, you know, what you're trying to aim for, and, like, what's worth what, and then there's kind of like not a meta, but like, oh, I shouldn't pick a 5, I should pick a low number, you know, like...
So I'm picking the 6 and yellow.
Well, no, you don't do the +1 until your turn's over.
What? God, it's f***ing useless.
The +1 is like, of all used up dice, which one do you want to reuse?
God, that is so
pointless.
Oh, Cody, it's really not though.
It's almost
No,
is.
it
He's
really
just
is.
over there
Almost
crossing
100%.
things out.
Oh, Jesus.
He's
Fine, whatever. I'm taking the 6 in yellow, whatever. You guys take the rest of it.
How long have you been at this, Cody?
So, I mean,
The
like,
amount of choice is kind of like, there is choice, but it's like a little bit of choice, but there's kind of stuff you should do too. I wish there was like some other element, like trading or something else that affected things that kind of shook it up a little bit. But overall, I like it. It's simple, and there is an element of choice and decision making that decides whether you're going to win or lose. But I wish there was just like one more element or something to kind of shake it up a little. But I like it.
there is I don't know if it's an expansion, a sequel, or a repackaging where they're like they took all 6 die and there's instead of purple there's a pink and there's a black dot, and it's like I think it's like kind of a higher. It's like for people who've already played this one, they make all the die a little harder to score on, and they're like the games are a little different for each one, so that might add a little bit of like if you've played this already and you've seen everything there is to see in it, you could get that one. But I would say it's not all even, but I appreciate that it's not. I appreciate that it's not all symmetrical. That every color works exactly the same way. You get 5 more points every time you accomplish something on that color. Yeah. It's like, oh, some of these are really backloaded. Some of them are a little more front-loaded. Like the yellow's kind of front-loaded, and it seems like some of them give you more points unless you like go all in on that color on one of the other colors. Like green, for example, is one where you don't get many points in that at all until you get to later stages in green. As for blue and yellow, those ones kind of give you points like pretty much as soon as you start knocking off rows. And so it's just like if you kind of just equally diversify between all the colors, which is basically what Cody did here, I think you don't get very well rewarded. It seems like you probably need to kind of go extreme and focus on one thing or another and which is what Rick did. Extract as many points as you can out of that color. You're going to sacrifice others completely, but you might as well do that instead of getting medium achievement in all 3, because then you'll get to the ones where it gets exponentially more rewarding the further deep into the scoring rubric you have for that color.
Do you still feel like maybe it could benefit from like an extra turn? Or do you think the number of turns is good?
Maybe one more, but it wasn't as bad as it seemed like at the time.
This sucks.
Your butt sucks.
There aren't enough turns.
Because once you get to like the last turn, you're doing all those combos, and
which I understand. Like,
so
obviously you don't want to let people just get all of them, and then there's not going to be any game to it.
Yeah. So on that note, I'm going to interrupt.
Maybe one more, but
so we were all kind of worried early on in the game. This is the second time we've played it. Early on into this round, we had 5 rounds. In round 2, we were all kind of like, this game is going really fast, and we're not completing much of our boards, so this feels wrong. By the end of the game, though, you start getting a lot of combos where like, oh, you've accomplished an objective in one of the mini games, like the yellow die. So that allows you to check off something in the blue die, and if you did your blue grid correctly, now you can check off something also in the green die. Yeah. So like now you've just marked off 3 in one turn, for example. So like by the end of the game, you start like knocking things off like kind of quickly, and you fill in a lot of that white space on the board with check marks and whatnot and numbers. So you start catching up kind of to the amount there is to do in the game by game's end.
Yeah.
Damn, you're far in your greens. Rick's got one of his foxes done.
I got this.
Cody's got one of his. God.
I got 2 foxes.
I don't have any foxes. I'm so far behind you guys.
And there's other, we might have mentioned this earlier, but there's like other elements like where you can get like rerolls and you can use an extra die, and that also helps towards the end. And
right, you start unlocking those the further you go into.
Your
my review is that it is an adult Farkle, in that it's one of those where you're trying to get, I don't know I'm sure there's a term for it in board games, but there's like 100 of them where you're trying to get like columns and rows and points, and there's like 100 different variations of basically the same kind of game.
Mhm.
And this one is a good one. And so, like, it's just a game you can pick up and play every time. And it's, you know, once you've played it once, it's not hard. Even the first time, it's not hard. You can keep playing it 100 times over. It's a good pick up and play, boy.
Yeah,
I wish there was some level of, like, little, like, trickery or something that could flip things on its head a little tiny smidge, but
Yeah.
it's good. It's good.
It's hard. Yeah, I kind of think it's almost perfect the way it is. But yeah, I could see playing this 10 times, being like, well, I know my strategy is just go all in green and then let the rest
And
play
I
out
even
or whatever.
Well, I think it would be fun, yeah, like to play it like 5 times and like maybe to have a different strategy each time. Like I wanna, but like I don't even feel like there's a meta. I feel like it's just like pick what you have to put in different. You know, like at the end of the day.
I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing, and that's what Rick did this time. Is that like the last time I played it when I won, I went all in on the bottom 3, and this time Rick got all of yellow done. He got almost all of green done, and he had like half of purple, maybe.
Yeah.
Something like that. So like you had like you went all in on like 2 colors kind of, and like got those mostly done, and you completely ignored orange.
Right here's at the bottom of that column. God, you got 60 in yellow? Yeah. Jesus, you fill the whole thing out? Oh, wow. Well, the whole thing out, almost finished green.
But like you ended up winning with that strategy, so it's like that seems to be the way that to win this game.
One
So like
thing that I also saw, and I said this from the beginning, and I'm sure I'm wrong, but god damn it if blue doesn't seem like just the worst investment of time ever.
I don't agree with that.
Maybe I don't. I'd have to look at the point things. That I think that was the thing that escaped me at the beginning of like understanding the game. I basically understood how it worked, but like the end game, like like I had 7 blues. That means it goes over to here. And then the yellows are scored by the like purples are scored just like sequentially. You just add them up. Like I didn't understand fully like how points are totaled.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's by the way, it's 1 to 4.
I would say with an extra person that would give you more things to cross out. You know, when the other person's done with their turn, they got all the dice on the silver platter.
Well, with 4 people, I mean there'd be 1 fewer round too, and with 2 people, there's more rounds. But so it's like it does feel like it's just slightly short. So I would like make it slightly longer. Maybe throw in like 2 more die to mess with. I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's really hard to pick anything wrong with it. It seems well designed.
And it's not like a legacy game or some. And you're just like I'll just play like a quick, you know.
Yeah.
That's good for that. I would say almost like maybe I guess my recommendation, and this would probably ruin the game, but maybe like throw in 1 extra dice that's like somehow it allows you to like steal another person's thing or
something like that. Yeah,
something like that.
More
would,
interaction.
Like, anyways, I don't know. It's good.
By the way, playtime probably there was a lot of getting Cody up to speed. Rick being asleep. I would say like normally, especially on the second or third playthrough, we're probably looking at 45 minutes for the 3 of us. Like pretty quick. So yeah, where would you guys place it in terms of other games we've played? I'd say upper third for me.
Yeah, I'd say upper third.
Like,
I'd probably give it a good 9 out of 10.
We'll end it there. Do we want to give a rating out of 100 maybe?
90. Since I said 9 out of 10 earlier.
I'll join you on 90. I think 85 to 90.
82.
It says 14 and up. I wonder why. Inappropriate for 12-year-olds.
If you get a 2, it's like a pair of titties. And this one
is torture.
This one doesn't, but yeah, like somewhere around there.
Orange off the table, which means you're putting back a lot of stuff. Cody, are you sure you want to do that?
Okay.
All right, you're gonna have 1 die left to roll.
I understand.
So you're gonna have a wasted turn.
Of your action.
Okay.
Well, no, it's not.
Oh.
Here, just reroll those.
I'm dying over here.
Hey, I'm going fast.
A 1 blue, a 1 orange, a 4 purple.
Also,
Richard, we have a sighting of our most important member.
Don't worry.
It's the brains of the operation.
Don't worry. I'm not recording anything. I promise.
I'm recording. Okay. I'm stretching. This is nuts.
Jesus.
Wow, how did you get so many +1s? Jeez.
Accuse
So he's filling the hell out of purple.
accuse the enemy of what you are doing. So he was accusing you of
Yeah.
cheating
Yeah.
and filling in squares.
What the heck?
But he was the one doing it.
My shit's fucked.
Oh yeah.
I don't know
my
what's
shit.
going on
It's
here.
fucked, and also I've
Guys.
used none of my abilities at all.
And,
I've used
I'm
one
losing.
reroll.
Technically, I'm losing. So.
Bum pickings, Ricky.
Sorry.
No, you're not. Oh, I will
said
use.
sorry.
No, you're not. I will use.
I'll record this.
Hey,
dude.
hey,
God damn you.
hey,
This is why we call you a
hey!
behind your back and to your
Angles.
face as
You can't
well.
just have everything be a
We
static
say it
shot.
to your face too, but we also say it behind your back. I guess.
Right,
Not
4 in your
ideal,
orange box.
But
And then, Cody, God help us all, it's your turn.
can't do green.
Yes, you could.
Why?
Because it's higher than or equal to 1. Ricky. I wish you could know how hilarious you look when you do that face.
Putting it at this.
I got it, Rick. I got it.
All right. Good job, man.
And
I
I got
could
a plus.
count on
I
you.
got a +1 as well. If they start using these goddamn things.
Suck my nose.
What? Can we watch Flash Gordon?
Now
That'd be
there's a
cool.
idea.
Mm.
It's a rock opera with Queen and
Yeah.
flashy suits. Honestly, I've never seen a movie captivate me so much through visually, like only like the costumes and like the weirdness of it. It's, I mean that though. I know it's not a good movie.
What did the Buddhists say to the hot dog vendor? I would like you to make me one with everything.
Got me.
Oh, Ricky.